You're watching Kickoff Week, presented by Modelo.
Welcome to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Experian. This is Kickoff Week, presented by Modelo. Kyle Field ready to unleash its sound and fury. The 12th man stands ready for a new season of Aggie football, while it's UTSA making the 3-hour trek from San Antonio to College Station. And good evening, Anish Shroff alongside the Heisman Trophy winner Andre Ware. We'll hear from Paul Carcaterra in a minute. Andre, this is Mike Elko's second season at Texas A&M, but the refrain is a familiar one. How does A&M find the stairway to heaven to get out of this 8-win purgatory?
Yeah, it's going to be with their quarterback. More so, Reed, a dynamic, dual-threat quarterback that can flat out move it around the field. He worked on his deep ball passing this offseason, knowing that he was going to be the starter going into spring practice. What can he do? Push it down the field, as we're seeing as well. When that's not there and you want to go quarterback run, making the defense play 11 on 11, he can kill you with his legs.
Can he take the next step as a passer? The big question. 8-5 last year, but this was a team that went into the regular season finale against Texas with a chance to play in the SEC championship. Meanwhile, for UTSA, complete reset on defense. On offense, a lot of known commodities, including the QB.
Yeah, it was a young offense around Owen McCown last season, and they like lefties at UTSA. Frank Harris before him, and then Owen McCown stepping into some pretty big shoes, but he stepped in them, filled them, had an outstanding year last season. Look for this to be a really tough football game and a lot of good quarterback play.
We're back with the opening kick from College Station. From the home of the 12th man, Kyle Field, it's the SEC on ESPN. It's season 2 for Texas A&M head coach Mike Elko. He spoke to Paul Carcaterra moments ago.
Anish, year 2 in the Elko regime, and he just told me moments ago, look at this scene, and they've waited an entire offseason to get back on Kyle Field, and he knows this opportunity for his team is huge, and they're ready to take the next step, he told me, as a program. And the big challenge will be UTSA's offense. He said, Owen McCown is a terrific quarterback, and containing him and constant pressure on the left-handed quarterback is critical for his defense.
Kark, thank you. If you're wondering why the cameras look the way they do, we were told there is lightning in an 8-mile radius, which put a lot of our cameras down for the time being. Now you're wondering, why are the teams still playing if that's the case? Well, Texas A&M meteorology, the message we got, has said that they have not registered any lightning strikes.
Let's play ball.
So we play ball. UTSA won the toss, elected to defer. A&M will receive, but they won't get a chance. And we get to see this Aggie offense. Marcel Reed, the quarterback. Andre, you talked about him. He is a part of what could be maybe the most dynamic rushing offense in the country.
Yeah, you mix Marcel Reed with Le'Veon Moss and Ruben Owens, their 1-2 punch in the backfield. It's going to be tough. And then they have 5 offensive linemen returning. So it's a lot of experience up front with a couple of dynamic players in the backfield. Makes it tough to stop A&M from running the football.
Moss, who suffered a torn ACL and MCL last in November, begins as the running back with Reed in the shotgun. And a quick throw. That is KC Concepcion, the former ACC Rookie of the Year at NC State. And he is a chess piece for offensive coordinator Colin Klein.
Really smart players really come in and picked up this Colin Klein offense. And right away, they want to display Marcel Reed and his progress in the passing game.
Empty set. Reed back to the air. Now flushed. And that one too high, but a flag back at the 35.
Yeah, this may be holding on Demetrius Crownover, the right tackle for Texas A&M. Big Crown is what they call him around here.
Holding on the offense, number 55. 10-yard penalty in the previous spot. It is first down.
It's Reed Adams, the right guard, next to Crownover.
Now, part of the reason there's so much excitement about the rushing offense, the offensive line.
Yeah.
They return everybody, pedigree, experience. Reed Adams, big-time draft prospect. This is one of the better offensive lines in the country.
A lot of experience up front as well, Anish, and you get guys that have played together for a while. A lot of production that way.
Concepcion motions into the slot. 3 plays, 3 passing plays. That's Le'Veon Moss, who slipped. And the turf monster registers his first tackle of the afternoon.
Yeah, he outflanks the defense, but footing. Old turf monster reached up and got Le'Veon there, but he's out in space. He caught 10 balls last year, so he's not a bad receiving option out of the backfield.
Let's look at the numbers for Reed a season ago. Now, the big emphasis in the offseason for Reed, the deep ball.
Yeah, they bring in Ruben Owens here on 2nd down and long. He's the receiving threat, more of a quicker slasher type runner.
2 tight ends, 2nd and 22. Quick pass. There's Owens, and he's cut down immediately. A yard on the play. Tackle made by Tyon Milton. So 3rd and 21. Pretty good start for a UTSA defense that was a big mystery coming into the game.
Yeah, this is a defense that has had the American Defensive Player of the Year 2 consecutive years, and it comes from their outside linebacker spot. They've gone, this is a heck of a defense. They've caused havoc. 23 games in a row with at least 1 sack and a takeaway. So they get after you.
Back to the air. Reed, nowhere to go, incomplete. And A&M has to punt.
Nice job by a total reconstruction defensively for Jeff Traylor and this Jeff Lev-led defense.
Did that surprise you? A team,
well, the penalty,
with the offensive line, the running game, they came out throwing the ball on every down.
The penalty helped, and when you hit that in an opening game, it's kind of tough to overcome that, because as an offense, you're still, there's been no preseason. All you've done is scrimmage against one another, and all of a sudden it's real type action.
Fair catch made by David Amador on the Tyler White punt. 36-yard kick, no return. We'll see Owen McCown in this UTSA offense on the other side. UTSA quarterback Owen McCown has played in big environments. Texas last year, Tennessee the year before.
Yeah, and a big one today. But, you know, this is a guy that's super accurate. He's got quarterback all through his veins. And in his entire family, he's super tough, super competitive, and a guy that just gets this team off to good starts. And enjoy watching Owen McCown play the position today.
He is from a lineage of quarterbacks. More on that after the play. Quick screen. Devin McEwen, their top receiver last year, despite missing 5 games. So Owen McCown's dad, Josh, played for a long time in the NFL. Uncle Luke played for a decade plus in the NFL. Uncle Randy was a quarterback for A&M on that '98 team, the last Aggies team to win a conference championship.
Dad still involved in it. He's the quarterback coach of the Minnesota Vikings, who a lot of people think got a pretty good shot this year.
McCown under pressure throws it away in the direction of Robert Henry, his running back, and there is the McCown family. And all 3 of the McCowns, Josh, Randy, and Luke, were coached by Jeff Traylor in high school. Jeff Traylor's the head coach at UTSA, and all 3 of Jeff Traylor's sons, or kids I should say, 2 sons, 1 daughter, all went to Texas A&M. It all comes full circle.
A lot of schools came after Owen McCown and offered up a lot of cash and NIL stuff, and he stayed parked right at UTSA.
Here's the pressure on 3rd down. McCown chased by Scooby Williams, who played last year on a torn meniscus, and it's incomplete. 4th down, and the punt team will come on for UTSA is Cale Hogan.
They've got some experience on the offensive line themselves in UTSA. They're going to have to do a little bit better job in the passing game of protecting Owen McCown, giving him a little bit more time to dissect and see coverages as well as get the football out.
The Aggies feel they'll be a lot better on defense this year. They did lose 3 guys up front to the NFL draft. Struggled in the secondary last year, but Mike Elko taking over defensive play calling this year.
Concepcion is back.
And he's dangerous.
Very.
Lets this one skip into the end zone, and it's a touchback. Second offensive possession for the Aggies after this. A year ago, Texas A&M got off to a great start after losing the season opener. That was to Notre Dame, big nationally televised game. Then they rattled off 7 straight wins. The win against LSU was where Marcel Reed was firmly entrenched as the quarterback, officially supplanting Connor Wigman. But the team faltered late, losing 4 of its last 5. Blown leads in the fourth quarter against Auburn. They blew a 17-point lead to USC in the Las Vegas Bowl. And Mike Elko's big rallying cry in the offseason, finish.
Fourth quarter. They talked about it all offseason. They lost, those games that you just mentioned. A lot of them were lost in the fourth quarter. I expect A&M right here, put it on the ground and run behind this big offensive line.
They do just that, but not much for Ruben Owens, who missed most of last year with a foot injury. Came back for the last 2 games against Texas and then the bowl game against USC.
Has it surprised you with as many new faces and names on this UTSA defense that they are kind of holding ground in the trenches, so to speak?
Reed pump fakes, finds a crease, slips a tackle.
Wow.
And goes into Merlin mode, and he picks up 8. Again, if you're wondering why the cameras are showing you what you're seeing on the monitor, it's because ESPN, with its own meteorology, detected lightning in an 8-mile radius, so we had to shut down a few of our cameras. Why are they playing? Well, Texas A&M meteorology apparently did not detect the lightning. We're just the messenger here.
Yes.
That's what we're hearing. We're sending it back to you.
What was the term you use? I would think matrix from Marcel Reed on that last run. Making guys miss, kind of freezing them.
On third down, back to the air again. Reed pumps, moves the pocket. He'll run for it. And this will depend on the spot. He's going to be short. He needed the 30. Out of bounds at the 29.
Early. You got a dangerous offense in UTSA with 9 returning starters, and I would elect to punt it here, as well as Mike Elko has decided to do. This is basically giving away points if you don't pick it up, and UTSA gets a first down. So I'd punt it and play defense. They able to get a 3-and-out to start the game. It's exactly what I would lean on right here. Punt it and play defense.
This UTSA defense replacing all those starters, holding its own, forcing 2 punts. Amador with the fair catch inside the 20. A tremendous opening weekend continues tomorrow. Virginia Tech, South Carolina. Aflac kickoff game. Kyron Drones, Lenoris Sellers, a couple of dynamic QBs.
I like the second one.
Notre Dame and Miami.
Miami, baby. That'll be
Prime
a
time
scrap.
on Sunday. And then how about the Bill Belichick debut as UNC's head coach Monday night?
He's used to playing on Monday. He's playing on a few Monday nights, right?
He has, and he's done okay. Notre Dame and Miami. There's a lot of history there. They did a whole 30 for 30. Catholics versus convicts.
Just glad they're playing again. Haven't played that game since 2017.
On the quick slant, there is Amador. Excellent slot receiver. Missed most of last year with a hamstring, but Andre, when he came back, he was their top guy down the stretch.
Yeah, he really lifted this team and gave them a spark. Tough player. He was a high school quarterback at North Shore. Great high school program in Houston.
Torian York, 21 in maroon, one of the best linebackers in the country, calling out the signals to the defense. Play clock down to 12, still plenty of time. Safety cheats up. Here's Robert Henry. Amtrak's ahead for a first down. Henry thought his career was over after he suffered a couple of ankle injuries late in the season, and then he got the NCAA's blanket waiver for former JUCO guys, and it's for this year only, but you get a year of eligibility back.
And they were glad to have him back. You know, he tends to make things happen when the ball is in his hands. They'll throw it to him. Excellent receiver out of the backfield as well.
Henry breaks a tackle in the backfield and fights forward for a gain of a yard, maybe 2, second down.
There'll be maybe more guys trying to take advantage of that new junior college rule where they get some time back.
And that will depend on what happens in the courts, because it started with Diego Pavia, the Vandy quarterback, filed the lawsuit, and he got the injunction for the extra year of eligibility. The NCAA then gave it to everybody, but for this year only, and the NCAA is appealing the ruling. Second down. The tight end Overmeyer in motion. McCown in the flat, incomplete off the hand of his running back Henry. Will Lee, the corner, came charging hard. That's A&M's top cover guy.
Yeah, once again, pressure in the face of Owen McCown, and he doesn't have a lot of time to kind of survey the field and set his feet. Cassius Howell is the guy that kind of got there quickly, and he is their top pass rusher.
He is lined up over the right tackle. And on third down and a passing down, Cassius has that lean and hungry look. As the saying goes, such men are dangerous. McCown looking for that inside screen. It goes nowhere. Overmeyer hit immediately by Bryce Anderson, the safety.
Just can't really get any consistency in the passing game. Overmeyer, as you mentioned, the tight end. They've got Houston Thomas and then Dan Dishman. 3 really good tight ends for this UTSA offense. But right now, Texas A&M holding strong defensively, not allowing the playmakers to get going for Texas A&M defensively.
Torian York, known to be just a vocal force in the middle of that A&M defense. Fired up after the play. Cale Hogan will punt. And Concepcion, former NC State wideout, waiting at the 15. Comes up to the 20. He doesn't need much space. Concepcion across midfield, down the sideline, gets a block, 1 man to beat, and a house call, and the Aggies have their first touchdown of the season.
That's how you introduce yourself to a new fan base, right there. Offense isn't working. Put a playmaker back there to return a punt. It's setting up blocks, starting one way and then coming out the back door. The big fella trying to get to him, no way, and he is absolutely gone down the sideline. What a return by Concepcion.
We were wondering who would be the place kicker for A&M. Randy Bond was a Groza Award semifinalist last year, but instead it's the Georgia transfer, Jared Zirkle. And Zirkle's kick makes it 7-0 Aggies. KC Concepcion, an 80-yard punt return.
It's the one thing, and coaches obviously prepare for it, but you're so worried about offense. Is the offense going to be ready to go? The defense, who's our best player? And then special teams. It's the fastest way to change the course of a game. One play and a score for Texas A&M. What a return. And we knew he had it in him. He did it and showed it at NC State. He brings it right here to College Station.
Gentlemen, we had the luxury of watching him a few times at NC State. He's dynamic, his feet are elite, and Mike Elko told us yesterday if he's been around the program a little bit longer, he'd be a captain. He owns the wide receiver room. The young guys look to him for leadership, and he is the real deal.
A season ago, he led the Wolfpack in targets, receptions, receiving TDs.
From your hometown.
Charlotte kid.
That's indeed.
And Colin Klein told us he's valuable on special teams as a receiver. He's another part of that dynamic run game with all the jet motion and sweeps that you can run with Concepcion.
And he doesn't get the credit for being a good edge blocker, an unselfish player. You got to have those. If you're running the football over and over or throwing it quick out to the flat, you got to have receivers that want to block. He signed up for it and does a pretty good job at it.
Randy Bond will kick it off here. It is windy. The flags are blowing. Now with the holder. Fair catch called for by Mekhi Anderson. Hey, we're all excited about this. It's the all-new ESPN app. Best way to watch sports, live sports, all of ESPN, all in one place. You can track your fantasy teams. You can personalize SportsCenter with your teams, the leagues, the stories that you care about. Check out the new ESPN app, the new and improved ESPN app.
Monday Night Football, right there for you. See McCown's stats from last year, over 3,400 yards, 25 touchdowns with just 10 interceptions. He takes care of the football. He is the definition of a quarterback.
Hand off to Henry. Runs into a massive maroon, a gain of 3.
We talk about McCown. He'll stand in the pocket until the last possible second to make a throw. He's obviously, we saw it on full display already, where he can move around and complete passes. Just like everything about him. And his toughness it's always on display.
McCown lets it fly. A lot of contact with Lee and McEwen, and a late flag.
Oh, wow. Going to give UTSA a big break here and some excellent field position with that flag if it indeed holds up. This is where, Anish, when you get around the 50-yard line and you get a first down, it's shot time. It's time to go deep.
Defensive pass interference. The pass was uncatchable.
Well, that takes care of that.
I know what you're thinking, Andre. You've played at Kyle Field before.
Oh, yeah, I've had my helmet held up at the 50-yard line, run to the 50-yard line with no unsportsmanlike conduct penalty call.
Listen, that's home field advantage this day and age.
Still a little salty about it.
I know. Now third down, and McCown will have to deal with this defense and the 12th man. Able to thread it to Houston Thomas, the College Station native who played his high school ball just 15 minutes from here and actually graduated high school with Mike Elko's son.
What a nice job by Owen McCown. That's what we just talked about, and he's standing in right there. He's going to get popped, and he knows it. And he stands right in, completes a nice one to Houston Thomas, the big tight end that kind of known for his receiving skills. He can really stretch the field.
Ball came out. McCown able to cover it up. Paul?
Yeah, the wind is effective here right now. It's potent, and it will impact a guy like McCown. You saw him thread that last one, but it's going sideways. It's going from west to east. So, Andre, you saw a previous pass from McCown. When he throw it high, it kind of trips with the wind. You gotta knife it through like he did on that last one, but the wind is aggressive.
It's well explained, Clark. You got to drive the football on a windy day rather than putting air under it. Literally, the air will take it past the receiver.
Quick screen, dangerous throw. Henry makes the catch. Tyreek Chappelle was right there, almost had it. Not much on the play, and it's third down.
You just like Henry. Gives you so much. He averaged over 5 yards per carry last season. Scored 7 touchdowns. Runs with a good pad level. Not afraid to take on defenders, and he's pretty good pass protection as well.
Leading rusher a season ago. A&M crowds the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they got a lot of them. Here they come.
It's a handoff to Henry. Perfect play call. Henry into the second level. His helmet came off, and it's a first down for UTSA.
How about this response drive to the punt return for a touchdown by Concepcion? They didn't flinch. Ball's kicked off, and Owen McCown got his team settled in, and now they're putting together a nice drive led by Robert Henry Jr. They come with a blitz. It's from the outside edges. They run the football up the middle where the weakness takes place, and here come the Roadrunners.
Henry out of the game by rule. His helmet came off. Inside shovel to Overmeyer, one of the tight ends. They've got 3 they really like. And Thomas, Overmeyer, and Dishman.
Yeah, Overmeyer's a good young player who's really developed in this system out of Kingwood, Texas, Kingwood Park High School.
Screen pass. It's McEwen looking for space. Bottled up, but not before he picks up a first down.
It's a nice job at the end of that, but it's what you don't do as catching a quick screen. You catch it, you get vertical right away, and your idea in that play, just to pick up the first down if you're the receiver. Don't start dancing around and come up short. He had the first down initially.
McEwen in motion.
Zone coverage here by A&M.
Off the pump fake. McCown drives one incomplete. Threw it behind Overmeyer. Now, one thing to watch. UTSA has a giant question mark at kicker, and Jeff Traylor said expect us to be aggressive. They're down close to the red zone. They're not thinking 3. They're in a third and short. 4th down is probably on the table.
It could be a situation here where you're trying to run to get half of it and go for it on 4th down. Just get in a situation where you can get to 4th and short.
Back to Henry, who is wrestled down by Marcus Ratcliffe, one of the safeties.
Ratcliffe transfer from San Diego State with a nice tackle, and those safeties starting to creep up. They can hold up in pass protection. A little play action pass and a shot over the top may be in order.
So 3rd and 9, you would think pass here, but could you see a draw play, or maybe something quick to get into 4th and manageable?
Maybe a screen pass, but something to get to 4th and short, maybe even 4th and medium. They're going to take a timeout. So
UTSA takes
Justin
his first
Burke,
timeout.
the offensive coordinator, can talk things over.
Best looking drive of the game for UTSA. It's a pivot point.
ESPN College Football is presented by Experian, your big financial friend, a BFF for life. When you're tackling life's big financial moments, it's good to have a big financial friend on your team. Ready to take control of your finances? Download the Experian app now.
Jeff Traylor interviewed for the Texas A&M head coaching job a couple of years ago and ended up going to Mike Elko, legendary high school football coach in the state. His team on the edge of the red zone facing a 3rd and 9. count, puts it in the belly of Henry, and that play call leads you to believe they called the timeout and probably were thinking 4 downs, but I'm not sure Henry got enough, and indeed it looks like they will bring on the field goal unit.
Give it a shot here. Very balanced series of plays there by Justin Burke. 6 runs, 5 passes for UTSA, trying to keep that A&M defense off balance, and that's what allowed them to get down just inside the red zone here.
First career field goal attempt for the walk-on Michael Petro. High snap. Petro's kick gets UTSA on the board with 1:53 to go in this first quarter.
Jeff Traylor told us he would give him a shot if he got it to, they've got the ball to about the 25-yard line or so, so 25 and in. You mentioned a walk-on who has really grown in his short time at UTSA. So it was one of those deals where you got to go out and prove it on game day. So far, so good.
And you wonder, Kyle Field,
this atmosphere,
man.
Yeah.
He did make an extra point in the bowl game and gets UTSA on the board with a 36-yard field goal.
We just gotta love college football. So many good football games on this afternoon.
How about Florida State?
Wow, knocking off Alabama.
Ugh. Does Kalen DeBoer start to feel it a little bit? I know it's year 2, but again, the bar at that program is on a level which probably would not have been fair to whoever succeeded Nick Saban.
I don't think the expectations, anyone could meet what the expectations are in Tuscaloosa. And then Texas going to Ohio State. Arch didn't have his best day. I think he's got, and we were talking about this on the way to the stadium, I think he's got more pressure on him than LeBron had coming out of high school. I really do.
Line drive kick fielded inside the 5 by the speedy Terry Bussey. A&M already had a punt return touchdown. Bussey stiff arm and then ankle tackled across the 35-yard line by Joffer Murphy, the kickoff specialist. Well, special teams is where this game has swung.
That has been the difference for Texas A&M, struggling a little bit on the offensive side with the way UTSA's playing defense, but it's been special teams that's really shown up for this A&M football team.
A&M looking for its first offensive score of the game. Marcel Reed, 3 out of 4 passing, hands it off, and Owens tripped up. Owens, Le'Veon Moss, Amari Daniels, E.J. Smith, a great offensive line, a running quarterback, and then we've already seen the speed on display from both Bussey and Concepcion. Those guys as receivers certainly factor into the run game as well.
Defense is tackling well in space. Got to get the special teams up to speed for UTSA.
Reed's got time. Rifles one in traffic, and it's complete. Nate Borkercher, one of his tight ends. Time for a studio update. Here's Matt Barry.
I like that. Happy New Year. It is for college football fans, right?
1000% is a Happy New Year. Off the play fake. Reed loads up. Concepcion wide open, and they overthrow him. There wasn't a road runner in his area code.
Someone lost track of the most talented receiver on this roster. Oh my goodness, just wide open. He had a safety at the top that just lost track of Casey Concepcion. I think you could make that throw.
We're pushing it.
I believe in you.
Amari Daniels now the running back. He gets the call straight ahead. Tornadoes to the 44-yard line. Daniels took over as the lead back down the stretch last year. He was the leading rusher for A&M 2 years ago.
It's just under 5 yards a carry last season, and just a good change-up type of back.
That's the end of the first
We have reached the end of quarter number 1. Talk about a first impression, Andre. Casey Concepcion.
Yeah, he really has. They talked about him as a receiver, but he stepped up in this game big time for A&M.
Coach, the only Texas A&M points right now on a return. What's critical for your defense at this moment?
Obviously, 3rd down and 5 here. They're probably going to try to get some of it back, go for it on 4th down. You got to get the punt coverage cleaned up. We hit the ball in the wrong spot of the field. You just can't do it against great athletes.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank y'all.
So Jeff Traylor expecting this to be 4-down territory. It's Daniels, flag down.
It's coming back with a hold. Boy, it's been rough. We thought A&M would just line up and try to impose their will on the front 7 of UTSA.
Offense, number 54, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. It is 3rd down.
That's the center, Mark Abu. Missed most of last year with the torn ACL.
Just keep your eyes in the middle. Just kind of wrapping up, almost tackling the nose tackle for UTSA. But it's been rough going for this rushing attack for Texas A&M, averaging 2.8 rush yards per carry. That is surprising, to say the least.
Against a defense that essentially replaced every starter. Screen pocket for Reed. Drives one to Concepcion for a first down. Boy, he has fit this Aggie offense perfectly so far. Elijah Newell makes the tackle after a gain of 26.
He's got a guy that can get it to him. Worked all off season on bettering his deep passes. And Concepcion, corner's got inside position. Nice protection by the offensive line and an excellent throw to finish things off by Marcel Reed. Well, just working the pocket, eyes downfield, coming from one side of his read and in his progression to the other. That's playing the position.
Mario Craver, the motion man, back to the air. Quick throw near sideline. It's Terry Bussey, the reception. Gain of 5.
He's kind of the Swiss Army knife for this offense. They'll line him up everywhere. Very versatile in terms of his knowledge of the offense, and he can fly.
Young man from a town called Timpson, Texas, East Texas. Population 989, playing in a stadium with 102,000 plus.
If you can play, they'll find you.
Screen pass. Craver, the Mississippi State transfer, in for the score. In the end zone.
I think it's going to be a late hit on KK Meyer.
Ruling on the field is a touchdown after the play. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 28. That penalty being forced on the kickoff.
Just at the very end of this, after he's already in the end zone, here comes KK Meyer. Their cornerback just a little extra there.
PAT by Zirkle is good. Marcel Reed, 7 for 9, 82 yards. How about the transfers? Concepcion with a punt return TD. Now Craver, greetings from Starkville.
College Football Primetime, presented by Experian, is brought to you by Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
Dante Hall, Dat win, Randy McCown, all a part of the last Aggie team to win a conference championship back in '98. Randy McCown, the uncle of Josh McCown. Now, Randy, in that '98 season where the Aggies went 11-3, he was at the helm when A&M beat number 2 Nebraska, but he hurt himself in the game against Texas diving for a touchdown and ended up missing both the Big 12 championship game and the Sugar Bowl. Time now for our drive recap, covered by Geico.
Yeah, he was just dynamic in this, just driving the ball to his big tight end, Borkacher there, stepping up in the pocket and finding Casey Concepcion for a big throw out in the flat where a guy can catch it, where Craver can catch it on the run and then get himself into the end zone. That ball's thrown perfectly where he doesn't have to wait on it. It's not behind him, right with his momentum, and kind of carries him forward. He's able to pay it off.
McCown over the middle. Again, the College Station native, Houston Thomas.
Almost feel like UTSA's got to put some points on the board here. Doesn't have to be a touchdown, but just to kind of keep yourself in pace throughout this game. Right now, this is big. This drive is huge for the Roadrunners.
In their history, 0-4 all-time against the SEC. They've never beaten a top 25 team. Will Henderson, he's got great speed. He's actually a sprinter on the UTSA track team. Moves the chains with a gain of 8.
State 100-meter runner-up. He ran 10.4, and that's in the state of Texas. So you know he's got some wheels. Finishing second place.
Saw some time in the Myrtle Beach Bowl at the end of last year. 81 yards rushing on just 5 carries in that game, including a 51-yard touchdown. McCown to McEwen, the Mac attack, and nothing going on there. That's a loss of 3 on the play. Tackle made by Rogers.
You almost have to have an MC in the front of your name to play a skill position at UTSA. McEwen, McCoy, and then McCown.
Yeah, they call him the Mac attack.
Love it.
Second and long.
Pick up about a half of this to give yourself a chance on 3rd and medium.
Henderson goes wide. Henderson on the tunnel. Breaks a tackle. For a guy known for straight line speed, he's got a little physicality.
Still going.
And a first down to midfield, a gain of a baker's dozen.
You know, he had a heck of a high school career as a redshirt last year, but he ran for over 2,700 yards, 35 touchdowns as a high school senior. That's getting it done, big fella, especially in the state of Texas where high school is big time.
He played his high school ball at Gilmer, which is where Jeff Traylor used to be the head coach.
Might say that was an easy recruiting job.
And he knows a couple of people there.
No doubt.
Another screen pass. Overmeyer could not hang on.
I'll tell you what, this Marcus Ratcliffe, he's flying around. 6'2", 209, is in the box. He's back on the back end making plays, and then there, quick pass to a tight end. He is right there step for step and able to punch the football out. This is a solid football player.
He had a stretch last year where he had an interception in 3 consecutive games. Amador in motion. Up the middle again, and Henderson's been a nice change of pace here. Tyler Onyetum, the Iowa State transfer, makes the tackle after a gain of 4.
Nice job of coming back after first down. You can just about set your watch that there's going to be a run for UTSA and start to wonder if this is 4-down territory for Jeff Traylor and his offense.
He likes to be aggressive. He even joked with us. He said, we might have a couple of 4th down calls where you guys are scratching your heads upstairs. On the RPO, a first down for Amador inside the 30. Boy, McCown sold that well. Torian York and his linebacker finally brought him down.
It's a great read because his initial read would have taken him to the flat. He's got his tight end wide open in the flat, and then Amador sneaks inside, gets inside position, and it took Marcus Radcliffe to come up from his safety position to make yet another tackle. But what a read by McCown, to find Amador for a first down.
You saw him baiting the freshman, number 10, Marco Jones. Again, the RPO, the slant, and it's caught by Amador again. Another first down to the 15.
And in the passing game, sometimes you just throw where they are. Radcliffe sells out on a blitz, and then they go right behind him to Amador on a slant route, and it's thrown perfectly by McCown. This is a great drive being orchestrated by UTSA.
Owen McCown, 12 of 18, 93 yards.
They find a way to get in the end zone. Last year, they were only 58% touchdown success last season in the red zone.
A team that dealt with a ton of injuries a year ago. Henry on the cutback. Amador the block on the edge, and Henry tiptoes the sideline for a Roadrunner touchdown.
What a run. And I say that because of the move he had to make just about in the backfield after he got the handoff. Showing you the vision of just seeing the defense making a nice cut, and now it's just, do you have enough speed to get there? He's able to outrun Marcus Radcliffe in the back end of A&M's defense.
I go back to what Mike Elko and the A&M coaches told us. UTSA has SEC level talent on its offense. Maybe not frontline starters, but guys who could play and be on the 2 deep for SEC teams. Point after is good. Robert Henry gets the Roadrunners their first touchdown here in Aggie Land, and we've got a ball game. Thank you. In this game, UTSA, one of the better teams in the American over the last few years.
We got some scoring here.
And they are hanging with Texas A&M. Part of the reason A&M's one touchdown came on a punt return. So time of possession, massive advantage for the Roadrunners, and twice as many plays run. Bussey. He has electric speed. Rumbles across the 30. We take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Verbo. Number 1 Texas goes down in
already.
Columbus.
Well, I don't call it an upset, but you're ranked number 1.
Buckeyes, the defending champions, and Arch Manning did not play well. Clemson, LSU over on ABC right now. Notre Dame, Miami tomorrow night in Miami Gardens. Alabama losing to Florida State by 2 touchdowns. Mike Norvell's team has had a roller coaster of a ride the last 2 years. Le'Veon Moss, who had been out of the game for a while, back in there. He was the SEC's leading rusher last year before getting hurt. That's tore his ACL and MCL, and his first carry goes for 12 yards.
Yeah, he's kind of known as the sledgehammer, the difference maker in this running game for A&M, and they're going to now turn him loose, I'd imagine, behind this big offensive line. I can't believe it's taken this long into the second quarter, this deep, for him to get his first carry.
Reed underneath. That's Borkature. It almost feels that Marcel Reed is getting a bit of a showcase to begin this game to show people how far he's come as a passer as we go down to Clark.
Yeah, keep an eye on Vic Shaw, who's going to be going after Marcel Reed. I saw trainers working on his left ankle. When he tried to tie his shoe again, he was in a lot of pain. There's a lot of tape on that left ankle, and this is big. He's one of their better players. Just 6 players on the defense with over 200 snaps. They only returned 2 starters, so Vic Shaw is instrumental for this defense.
Owens pulled down at midfield after a gain of 2. You know what's interesting, Clark, and we talked about this, as Kendrick Blackshear, the Alabama transfer, makes the stop. While the starters are almost all gone for UTSA, as there's an injured player, it's Ty Leonard.
Timeout for an injured player.
There's 7 guys starting on defense for UTSA who played meaningful snaps last season.
And Blackshear was one of them. He played in 3 games last year before being sidelined with an injury. So coaches really like him. Went to Texas, then transferred to Alabama, now at UTSA.
You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Evening in College Station. Kyle Field, home of the 12th man. UTSA and Texas A&M to begin the 2025 college football season. Opening weekend, already we saw Texas go down to Ohio State. Alabama falling to Florida State.
Texas A&M with this offensive line and talented backfield. 5 rushes for just 14 yards here in the first half.
That has been surprising. Concepcion, the motion man. Reed, strong throw, finds a seam. And a first down inside the 30-yard line. Ashton Bethel Roman, a redshirt freshman who this coaching staff thinks will be a superstar.
Yeah, you can't let him loose on your back end because he's got speed to break away, and you'll lose the foot race when he gets in the open field.
Reed is now 9 of 11.
This is where you got to generate some kind of pressure to disrupt the flow of Marcel Reed.
Reed looked like a little miscommunication there with Bussey coming on jet motion. It's a loss of about a yard on the play.
Nice job by Wimberly. He's kind of got the front portion of the jersey of Marcel Reed. Brought him down, and we just talked about they needed some penetration, needed to disrupt the flow of what he was doing on this drive, and that's a heck of a play by Wimberly.
A timeout by the Roadrunners.
Takes its second timeout of the half.
Wimberly's another guy who is in his second season with UTSA. They rotate 9, 10, sometimes 12 guys on that defensive line. 5:48 to go, first half. Now a quick word from Verbo.
As your host, I have some rules. First, no showers longer than 5 minutes. This isn't a spa. That's the rule.
Meanwhile, at a Verbo, get the vacation you expect and never a hovering host.
Anish Shroff, Andre Ware, Paul Carcaterra with you. College football back in earnest this weekend. And for A&M, a team that seems to perpetually be stuck in 8-win territory. It's been a tired refrain. A program that is looking to take that next step. We've been saying it for a long time. Reed to Concepcion. And he hears the highway call. His second touchdown.
When you swing, you got to make sure you hit. Because if you miss a guy like Concepcion, he will make you pay, as he did there. Simple slant route. And Marcel Reed waited till the second window in which to throw it. Waits, then all of a sudden he's there. You miss a tackle, and now it's a foot race that a lot of defensive backs around the country are going to lose to that young man. All right, when you get it in his hands, he knows absolutely what to do with it.
He's got 2 TDs and could very easily have had a third. He was wide open.
My goodness.
And Marcel Reed missed him earlier in this half.
Safeties get tangled up on the back end. He was so wide open. And sometimes those are the hardest throws to make for a quarterback, because you just think when a guy's running that you just drive the ball, but then when he's so wide open, you want to make sure that you put it on him, and then comes the overthrow or the underthrow.
We saw Reed at times a little erratic on the first couple of drives. He's settling down.
He's settling down because there's not enough pass rush or not enough pressure in his face, so to speak. So they've got to figure that out at halftime with Jeff Loeb, the defensive coordinator. He has got to find a way to put some pressure on Marcel Reed.
UTSA was very candid with us. They said they'll move around a lot. They'll drop 8, maybe more than they ever had. They see the inherent risk in bringing pressure and not being able to get home against Texas A&M. Randy Bond to kick it away. UTSA ball at the 25. Let's get a look at the Taco Bell Live Más student section. Only one student section can claim the title of Live Más student section of the year. Who takes home the trophy this year? We read this card and this promo in every game.
Yeah.
There are some games where, let's be honest, the student section doesn't have a chance.
Right.
They've got a chance.
Oh, they got a legit chance here. I don't think they sit down the whole game, right? That in and of itself should earn you some points.
One of the great venues in North America, and one of the great home field advantages in college football.
I think it's the toughest place in college football to play.
Henderson! Wow. Driven down. That's a Scooby sack, kind of. It's a big TFL for Scooby Williams.
Well, you talk about form tackling. Scooby Williams comes right through, waits it out, and I mean, keeps his legs moving, driving. But what a tackle by Scooby Williams. Now behind the chains once again is UTSA.
Scooby had 7.5 TFLs last year. Inside pressure juggled by Henderson, and that was probably the best possible outcome, that he dropped the ball.
No doubt, and I thought it may be a late hit by Radcliffe, but I saw the shoes of one of the A&M players that are yellow. Kind of got that confused with the flag there.
Andre, 3rd and 13. This is where Cassius Howell becomes a factor.
This is where, as well, if you're UTSA, you can't try to force this ball if you're Owen McCown into coverage to try to pick up a first down. Take what's there.
They just run the ball. Henry has a seam, and he got enough to move the chains. Needed 13, picked up 13.
Well, he's playing some big boy football, isn't he? Really elusive runner, but can be tough when you need him between the tackles. Nice job in the middle of that formation by the UTSA offensive line. They're moving some bodies. Ben Rios, Darrell, big rail at right guard.
Robert Henry, former JUCO Offensive Player of the Year. 3rd season with the Roadrunners, averaging 8 yards a carry. Gets it again. Powers to the 40-yard line, a gain of 5. Bryce Anderson, the safety, came up.
Tell you what, I'll keep feeding him. He's found, running backs, when you give them carries and they start to find a rhythm, he seems like he is right on the edge of finding it. So you keep him there by giving him touches, whether it's sweeps, quick screens, ball out in the flat, or just direct handoffs to keep him involved in this possession.
Flag down.
Looked like Rios may have been late with a snap.
The offense, everyone except the center. 5-yard penalty. It is 3rd down.
Yeah, everybody got the snap count except Ben Rios.
Sunday Night Baseball. It's the series finale between the Braves and the first place Phillies. Did you see Kyle Schwarber on Thursday? 4 home runs,
he's been
9
money.
RBI.
He's been money all season, man. Talk about a model of consistency. And here the Phillies are playing some really good baseball.
Schwarber entered today sitting on 49 home runs, maybe a chance to get to 50.
Who's the lefty that they have on the mound that's just throws straight gas?
I got a feeling that's him in the bullpen too. Henry, another big run. Will Lee in pursuit, and Robert Henry picks up 24 more. He's closing in on 100 yards rushing in the opening half.
What you like about him is he doesn't force the issue. He just takes what's there, lives with that run, and if it's a 4-yard run, he takes it. If it's an opportunity to hit the edge and display his speed as he did here, certainly can do that as well. Give him a breather, bring him right back. We need you, big fella.
Who had UTSA out-rushing Texas A&M almost by a 4-1 margin at this point.
I'm surprised at the success they're having between the tackles, not just on the edges, but between both tackles.
That's a backward pass. Overmeyer, or rather Amador, he's their gadget guy.
Remember,
high school quarterback.
Yeah, played quarterback in high school, and they've really developed him as a wide receiver, and now it's one more year of experience at wide receiver. They could take advantage of his arm strength there. Don't let him rip one.
Second and long. This is likely 4-down territory for UTSA.
That is the 2-minute timeout.
And we have reached the 2-minute timeout. Roadrunners looking to get another score before the break. All right, Matt, we look forward to it here. UTSA looking to make it a one-score game before halftime. Down by 11.
Henry back in the game after a much-needed rest.
He's got 91 yards rushing. McCown on the slant. That's caught. And another first down. DJ Allen, second season with the Roadrunners after time at TCU.
Got inside position on Chappelle, who's a very good man-to-man cover defensive back, and he's kind of switching responsibilities, and just beats him to the spot. That's just wanting the ball more than the defensive back, DJ Allen, with great body position there.
Here's Henry. Hammerheads to the 26, a gain of 4.
He's been well coached. Tommy Robinson, the running backs coach at UTSA. He's coached at USC, Texas, LSU. He's at Colorado as their director of quality control, and now coaching up running backs at UTSA.
Off the RPO, thrown behind McEwen, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. 1:04 to go.
Boy, just he had what he wanted, just a little bit behind him, and now I got to believe that, you know, he set the 25 and in for Petro. I got to believe he may roll the dice a little bit here with being 3rd and 6. If you get it to 4th and short, you're going to go for it.
McCown downfield into coverage, almost intercepted.
Guess who?
Ratcliffe.
He has been everywhere defensively for Texas A&M. He had 3 interceptions last year, almost had his first of the 25 season right there. When you don't get to 4th and short, you're going to go ahead and try to kick the field goal and we'll put one up in double coverage, and boy, McCown is lucky that one's not going the other way.
Michael Petro connected from 36. From 43. Missed it.
Plenty of leg, just pulled it.
That was a concern for Jeff Traylor. They had Tate Sandell, a reliable kicker who transferred late to Oklahoma, and it has left the kicking game in flux. We cap off our stellar Labor Day weekend of college football Monday night on ESPN. Bill Belichick and North Carolina hosting TCU. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern. Also available streaming on the all-new ESPN app.
A lot of eyes on that ball game. Mine include
of Carolina Bill. Reed flushed. Throws on the run, incomplete, intended for Craver.
And that's exactly what UTSA has to do. Put some pressure on Marcel Reed.
Injury
Six-time Super Bowl
timeout.
champion. 2nd all-time in wins. He's got about 40 transfers on that North Carolina team, and they will have as much intrigue as anybody. Meanwhile, there's an injured UTSA player down on the field back near the 20.
It's like Cam Blaylock. It's one of those nose tackles that we described as hard to move in the middle. Played at Trinity Valley Community College and also at Memphis before transferring to UTSA from Tennessee State. Give a shout out to Eddie George yesterday. Won his first ball game as head coach of Bowling Green. Nice job, Eddie.
Yeah, it looked like he just landed awkwardly at the end of the play.
I don't know if it's on the ankle area or what. Big fellows and all that moving in the direction of Reed, was able to get away from him.
Aggies have all 3 timeouts. Craver, who's got a touchdown, that'll momentarily stop the clock. Running back now is E.J. Smith, the son of the NFL's all-time leading rusher, Emmitt Smith.
Now you're in a situation here where you're running the 2-minute offense with Marcel Reed. Take care of the football. Is the thing you have to do here at quarterback.
Reed steps up.
Nice.
Lets it fly. Incomplete, intended for Bethel Roman.
And that nice comment came from just his pocket presence, stepping up. Now you got to just let it go. Believe in the throw, commit to it. But I like how he's working the pocket. He's not trying to escape outside. It's up and inside. And then if you can, it clears, you pull it down and run. With his athletic ability, it's just as effective as hitting a pass over the middle.
And A&M may have saved a timeout on the previous play. Craver was marked out of bounds. He stepped out, so it stopped the clock. Instead of the clock starting on the signal with a first down. Reed under pressure. Has the 40. That'll keep the clock running. And now the Aggies burn one of their 3 timeouts. Kyan Roberts-Day got to the QB.
Takes their first timeout of the half.
And if you're Mike Elko, you're just looking to get in position to put a field goal up. Just get yourself in field goal range and try to extend the lead against UTSA. And then if the big one, the big score presents itself, obviously that's icing on the cake.
Aggies punted on their first 2 drives, and then what woke up A&M was Casey Concepcion, an 80-yard punt return. He also has a receiving touchdown in this first half. Craver has a receiving touchdown. Reed 11 of 15, 150 yards, 2 TDs through the air, and surprisingly, not much of a run game for A&M.
And we thought coming in that would be the story of the game, but it's been the new toys for Marcel Reed and Colin Klein.
Pressure off the edge. The slant is caught. A first down by Craver. Gain of 20 on the play. That'll momentarily stop the clock.
Texas A&M takes their second timeout of the half.
So 1 timeout remaining, 21 seconds to go. We remind you tonight after the Georgia State Ole Miss game, it's SEC football final back. Dari Noka and company have you covered. We'll take you through the biggest stories of the day. Arch Manning struggles with Texas. Alabama going down to Florida State. All the news and notes over in the SEC. You can watch on the SEC Network and the all-new ESPN app.
Marcel Reed struggled a little early. That guy's wide open, couldn't hit Concepcion, and then he got hot. Ford Couture with a pass over the middle, drives the football down the field to Concepcion. It's the good stuff now. Right out to Craver in the open field. He turns it into a touchdown. And you see him start to play with confidence as he completes pass after pass. He has gotten hot here lately, Anish.
Reed in the pocket. And he overshoots his tight end, Theo Mellon-Orstrom.
You know, one of the happiest guys in the U.S. is right now, Dari Noka, because the Oklahoma City Thunder winning a championship. He was wearing me out on the texting me about it. Yeah, he's one of the biggest OKC fans there is, and just wearing me out. I said, okay, we got something for you this year. Being a Mavericks fan. Well, Cooper Flagg coming to town.
What about the guy who left?
I'm okay with the trade.
On second down, Reed. Smith picks up the blitz. And incomplete. Intended for Bethel Roman. Third down, 12 seconds remain in the half.
You asked me about that. I think it did wonders for Luke. It forced him to get himself in better shape. He looks great. I'm expecting a huge season for him in LA with the Lakers. But would he have done that had he not been traded?
Well, what does A&M do here in the final 12 seconds of the half?
You're still trying to get to field goal range here with a first down. And if not, get to the locker room without giving up a big play defensively.
Reed off his back foot, incomplete. Fourth down, and limping after the play is Terry Bussey.
Like Reed may have been limping as well. Big time pressure, and they're not afraid.
Please reset the game clock to 8 seconds, please. 8 seconds on the
to
game
bring
clock,
pressure on Marcel Reed. That's just Lepp's kind of blueprint. He will bring pressure on a quarterback, and I'm expecting to see a lot of it in the second half.
A&M brings on the punt team here. And Tyler White, Amador waits inside of the 10.
Make sure you cover him up. He is.
Texas A&M
he's dangerous back there.
Mike Elko uses his final timeout. 8 seconds, 4th down near midfield. Do you change up the call here, Andre?
You think it maybe run a play if you're A&M? I'd punt this baby away and make sure there's no return. Punt it out of bounds, and you're expecting UTSA, who's getting the football first, out of the locker room to just kneel it down and go in. So I would make sure there's no return whatsoever on this punt.
Punt team and Tyler White back out there. Last year, White averaged 45 yards a kick, tops amongst all freshmen.
UTSA takes their final timeout of the half.
Texas A&M takes a timeout, then Jeff Traylor, I'll see you and race you one timeout.
Not quite Texas Hold'em when it comes to timeouts.
No.
You think of the disparaging, or I should say the disparate histories between these two programs. 123rd season of football for A&M. Season 15 for UTSA. To put that in perspective, UTSA's first season of playing football took place when Johnny Manziel was a true freshman.
Wow. Wow.
Over the head of Amador. It takes an Aggie bounce. No time on the clock. And that punt.
Well executed.
Takes us to halftime. Texas A&M 21, UTSA 10 at the break. Time to get you to the studio. Joey Galloway, EJ Manuel, and Matt Berry. Take it away, guys.
You're watching Kickoff Week, presented by Modelo.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Experian. It's Kickoff Week, presented by Modelo. Texas A&M with a 21-10 lead on UTSA as we get ready for the third quarter. Anish Shroff, Andre Ware. We'll hear from Paul Carcaterra in a minute. Texas A&M has thrown it twice as many times as they've run it.
And it would have been
a shocker.
Totally surprised. I expected that to be flipped upside down with the experienced offensive line coming back, 2 outstanding backs, and a quarterback that is a dual threat as well. I expect them in the second half to do exactly that, run the football a lot more.
Marcel Reed, a couple of passing touchdowns for the Aggies. Casey Concepcion took a punt back as well. UTSA will get the ball first to begin the third quarter. No chance for Mekhi Anderson as we take a look at our playbook brought to you by Modelo.
Yeah, it's a hookup between Marcel Reed, who's reading the outside defender, but here it's Concepcion on a punt return first. Got to College Station and decided to introduce himself to over 100,000. Then he's reading the outside defender. Once that area clears, it's the perfect route for Concepcion. He feels it, times it up well. The ball's on time out in front, and you cannot let this young man loose in the secondary. He will make you pay.
UTSA has moved the ball on its last 3 drives. Owen McCown under center. Gives to Robert Henry. He's been a bright spot. Big hole for Henry. Off to the races. Henry with a house call. 75 yards. And that's how you quiet 100,000 people in an eye blink.
That's how you take advantage of a possession and get yourself right back in the game. That motor has been revving up all game long. It did in the first half. And in there, just the beauty of that run was just outstanding. I mean, he gets in the hole, makes a couple of guys miss, and then shows you the speed to hit the home run. He has UTSA right back in this ball game.
170 yards rushing for Henry on just 12 carries, now 2 touchdowns. Point after by Petro. And on one play, UTSA has made this a 1-score game as we check in with Paul Carcaterra.
Well, Anish, it's like Jeff Traylor knew something was up with Robert Henry. When I caught up with him right before the beginning of the third quarter, he said they would have more of a dose of the running game. Robert Henry had 95 yards in the first half. He also said outside of the 2 big plays by Texas A&M, his team has been right there with the Aggies, and he's confident going down the stretch. He said, if we can keep it close, I like my chances because I have Owen McCown.
3 years ago, it was App State who came into this building and pulled off a stunner. And right now, Henry carrying the load offensively for UTSA. You go back to the end of last year, he set a career high in back-to-back games to close last year. He's on the verge of doing it again today.
And then you look at the head coach on the UTSA sideline who was up for this job at Texas A&M. He'd love to come in here and pull this upset. They are right back in it, just down only by 4, 21-17.
Last year it was the Aggie pass defense that was a concern. Today they've given up 177 rushing yards. A&M will bring it out to the
Let's go back and take a look at that touchdown run by Robert Henry. I mean, right up the gut, he makes the defender miss, and then a move to just shake the safety, Bryce Anderson, and now it's just a foot race. Can I get to the end zone? Do I have enough left to get there? They can't catch him. He houses it for 75 yards, puts his team right back in this game. They needed a score of some sort. They got the big points instead of the field goal. He is playing some ball game.
Now Texas A&M's turn offensively. Black, the tight end, in motion. Into the belly of Le'Veon Moss. That's what he does. He moves forward for a gain of 2.
You know, with all the experience on the offense, let us compare offensive lines for a second. They only have 9 carries in the first half for Texas A&M. 32 yards on the ground. And then you flip it over to UTSA. They've outgained them just about everywhere except the scoreboard. Special teams is why A&M leads this game.
Graver in motion. Reed rifles it incomplete. A lot of contact. And no flag intended for Bethel Roman.
But they might have missed a hole as well, and you got a UTSA player down.
Timeout for an injured player.
I think
Cameron Cooper.
Yeah, and that's he plays that spot, the will outside linebacker, where it's produced the last 2 defensive players of the year for the American Conference. I thought that might have been a hold on the big fella, Demetrius Crownover. But maybe they missed one there. And it just kind of bent Cameron Cooper in an awkward way. We're watching film tomorrow. I can guarantee you the UTSA coaches are going to be upset with that one.
And then you had a lot of contact in the secondary. Davin Martin was wrapped around Bethel Roman. All right, it's time for our Aflac trivia question.
What you got?
Marcel Reed threw for 1,864 pass yards in 2024, second most all-time among freshmen in Texas A&M history. Now, he was first. I think that's a giveaway.
I'm about to say he was a redshirt freshman when he did.
So
the guy that
a redshirt freshman.
Yes, the guy that I think the answer. The answer to that question is he was also a redshirt freshman.
Correct. It's week 1. We start off slow.
Have a little build-up, right? If I'm getting the answers, then we got to toughen up the questions.
On 3rd down, corner blitz. It's tipped. Is that a live ball? No whistle. It's picked up by UTSA. And down inside the 15-yard line, Jakevian Rogers.
You got to take a look at this to see if it was indeed thrown behind the line of scrimmage.
What a turn of events. Now they say incomplete.
The ruling on the field is a forward pass. It's incomplete. It's 4th down.
And they did not blow the whistle immediately. One more look.
This is close, really close.
Yeah, that looks to be a forward pass.
Yeah, I mean, not by much, but it was.
You could start to feel the angst in this building as Texas A&M gets ready to punt. Tyler White.
Tell you what, you couldn't have had or scripted a better start to the second half of this game for UTSA. 1 play and a touchdown, and now you're forcing a punt. You're going to get the ball right back.
Fair catch made by Amador near the 20 after a punt of 52. UTSA with the ball and a chance to take the lead when we come back.
take a look at Robert Henry's evening. He has done it right up the middle, right in there between Trevor Timmons, Ben Rios, and Big Rell, their right guard. The center and two guards have just owned the line of scrimmage and provided Robert Henry with plenty of running room. Right up the formation, making defenders miss and running with toughness. His first touchdown run started in the middle, able to bounce it outside and find pay dirt.
Will Henderson, who doubles as a sprinter on the Roadrunner track team, picks up 3. Marcus Ratliff with another stop.
Legit speed. He has legit track speed. So you got Robert Henry doing his thing. And then if you take a breather because Will Henderson comes in, you might be in a foot race if you let him loose.
Play action. McCown downfield, incomplete for DJ Allen. 3rd down. Flag down.
It'll be a hold in the secondary is what I'm thinking here.
Holding. Defense, number 7. 10-yard penalty. Automatic. 1st down.
That gives this UTSA offense a little room to breathe, and it kind of puts A&M on its heels a little bit because you can't just play man-to-man, dial up pressure, and go after him.
They get Tyreek Chappelle, who missed most of last year. He's that slot corner. His return changes the math considerably for this defense.
Back from a knee injury a year ago. He has gotten better across the board. Excellent in man-to-man coverage, but there got caught working against DJ Allen.
Anderson met immediately, a gain of a yard. Albert Regis getting in there. He's their best run stopper.
LaPorte High School is in my district. We played in high school, and they used to produce a tremendous amount of D1 players out of there. Their entire backfield went to college. Tim Brown, the quarterback, Gerard Marks, the fullback, Randy Collins went to the University of Houston, and then Brent Smith came here to Texas A&M.
Anderson churning out to the 38. Regis again got in there, and it brings up 3rd down.
This is where you got to take care of the football. If you're when McCown don't force things, you're right back in this game. Your defense is playing some good football. If it's open, take it. Don't force it into coverage, though. And you got what you want at the bottom. One-on-one coverage at the bottom of the screen.
McCown loads up. One-on-one, incomplete. Des Ricks with strong coverage against Devin McEwen.
Coaches love Des Ricks. Played 650 snaps as a redshirt freshman last year. Excellent in coverage, and it shows up right there on 3rd down when the Aggies needed it the most. And now, number 7. Back to receive the punt, Mr. Concepcion.
He's earned the Mr. An 80-yard punt return.
Yes. He has earned the right to have Mr. placed in front of his name tonight.
The former ACC Rookie of the Year at NC State. This time a fair catch called for and made after a 47-yard punt from Hogan. Hang on.
A little shove-it match going on.
When we come back, Paul Carcaterra tells us what makes College Station and Kyle Field one of the grand cathedrals of college football.
You're watching the SEC on ESPN, and our Saturday night spotlight captures the many traditions at Texas A&M. It starts with the Corps of Cadets, which is a student military organization established in 1876. In 1913, Midnight Yell began, which is a massive pep rally held the night before games. The War Hymn has been passionately sung by the students and alumni since 1918. And the most iconic is the 12th Man, which has been going strong since 19... and is where fans stand the entire game, symbolizing their readiness to support the team. Gig'em is thumbs up gesture dating back to 1930. It captures and embodies the Aggie spirit. And let's not forget about Reveille, the First Lady of Aggieland. The college, the university's official mascot, and has been around since 1931. They love their Aggies in College Station, gentlemen.
And they're loving these transfers. Concepcion and now Craver with a 20-yard catch. 4 catches, 70 yards for the former Mississippi State Bulldog. Belen Orstrom, the tight end, takes it to the 46-yard line, a gain of 7.
His ball skills have really improved since the spring. Big guy from Sweden. He's like messing with Colin Klein. I said, who gets the job of going to Sweden to recruit? He would sign up for it in a heartbeat if he could, but young man was already on campus when they got here.
Ruben Owens. He's got enough to move the chains. Shad Banks, middle linebacker for UTSA with the stop, came over from TCU. He wears 0. You see a guy with single digits for UTSA. Those are the toughest players on the team, and the highest honor, 2, 1, and 0, the San Antonio area code.
7 of them line up on the defensive side of the ball in single digits.
Owens remains as the running back. Reed with time. Lets it fly. A lot of contact. Incomplete for Concepcion. Got handsy with Jakevian Rogers.
And the officials let him play.
All right, let's answer the Aflac trivia question. I think we all know this. Marcel
Officials
Reed.
timeout for an injured player.
There's an injured road runner. Marcel Reed, second last year in terms of passing yards for a A&M freshman who was first. I'd be stunned if this isn't Johnny Football, right?
I'd be stunned, but
it's Johnny Manziel.
We're not stunned.
2012. Colin Klein, the offensive coordinator for Texas A&M. He was a Heisman finalist the year Johnny won it. Finished 3rd behind Manziel and Manti Te'o.
Now coaching at Johnny's alma mater.
Sylvester, Trayvon Sylvester, walking off the field with help.
And they just got Cam Blaylock back into action, so they rotate a bunch of defensive linemen. That's the strength of this defense. Linebackers that can run sideline to sideline, and some defensive linemen that are very athletic and hard to move inside. I think it's shown up. They've kind of won the line of scrimmage to this point, holding this A&M rushing attack in check.
On 2nd and 10, Owens jump cut with space. Owens crashes inside the 25, a gain of 30.
Saw the missed tackles against Mario Craver on the outside. There, it's inside with Ruben Owens, and they're there. We're talking about UTSA, but they're just not making tackles. Excellent jump cut coming out of an attempted ankle tackle, and then a nice job of covering the ball up at the end of the run. drive being orchestrated here by Marcel Reed.
Reed will throw, open man. It's the tight end, Melvin Orstrom. A gain of 16, another first down.
Orchestra was the guy in the first half. Orstrom now is the tight end of the second half. Nice route to make you think he's going outside, curls it right back over the middle of the field in the soft spot of the coverage. And Marcel Reed has been pretty accurate this drive.
Amari Daniels is the running back, part of that deep stable of backs. Reed again to the air. Back of the end zone, wide open. Touchdown, Aggies. Casey Concepcion with his third. A flag at the very end of the play.
Yeah, he may have stepped out of bounds before he made the catch. You can't be the first to come back inbounds and touch the football. So
you saw the official toss the hat.
That's two wide open opportunities for Concepcion that may not materialize if it's what we think.
Illegal touching on the offense, number 7. The player went out of bounds and was the first to touch the pass. That's a loss of down. It is second out.
So another touchdown off the board.
Let's take a look at the tail end of this. And still in bounds.
Right.
Oh yeah,
there.
great. It's good job by the official to see that.
Daniels stopped in his tracks.
Wow. You said 1, 2, and 0. And Shad Banks is holding up his part of the 2-1-0 area code.
Third down goal to go for the Aggies.
Started his career as a wide receiver at Texas A&M, then moved to linebacker when he was at TCU, and obviously stayed at that position at UTSA. And I think after a hit like that, you want to move back to wide receiver.
Reed will take off and steps out of bounds shy of the goal line. Marked out at the 1-yard line. 4th and goal. You've got Le'Veon Moss. I got to imagine this is go for it.
Wouldn't you tell me only 2 negative runs all of last season? So that's the guy I'm putting the ball in his hands, number 8, when you get down here. 4th and goal. It's close. Going to number 8.
Two tight ends into the game.
Big package in with the big fellas.
And both tight ends lined up to the right.
You know, this formation's driving me crazy, don't you?
Timeout, Mike Elko.
A&M up 21-17 with an opportunity to extend the lead.
4th and goal from the 1 for the Aggies with Le'Veon Moss in the backfield out of the gun.
Yeah, and it drives me nuts to see short yardage out of the shotgun this close, because if you get penetration, if you're UTSA, you get a stop in the backfield and the ball. So let's see if they can indeed get some type of penetration.
2 tight ends right. Reed keeps, pitches to his tight end, touchdown Theo Mellon-Orster.
Oh, what a play call. Colin Klein, their offensive coordinator, had everybody thinking Le'Veon Moss on the run. Orstrom blocks down and then out to the flat, and there's nobody. Well, the box is just stacked, everybody inside. He comes underneath. And a nice, easy throw from Marcel Reed.
The PAT by Zirkle is true. And with 7:10 to go in the 3rd, the Aggies once again have a 2-score lead. Earlier today, Andre, we said farewell to a man who has had an imprint on college football that you cannot measure. Lee Corso was honored in his final collegiate game day. Just a great scene in Columbus and a great moment for college football and a great man.
And the man of the hour, the great Lee Corso.
And you've got one last head here to make.
This is one of the easiest picks I've ever made. Give me my first love.
I love the wave.
The goodbye wave, but how about this? The schools where Coach Corso coached at all won today.
Went to Florida State, was a two-way player at Florida State. They took care of business against Alabama, and I owe him a big thank you, because I would not be in this business without him. We met years ago. I think it was either the Heisman or the draft, and he told me, pulled me aside, and he said, look, you ought to think about doing TV years from now when this is over for you. And I kept this, gave me his number. I kept his number all those years, gave him a call, and he kind of pointed me in the right direction as to how to get into what we're doing now. I owe him a big debt of gratitude and a big, big thank you.
For all that you see out front that's visible, it's also the stuff that you don't see.
That's exactly right. And he, like I said, he means a lot to me. And I was thinking about it today, watching. You get a little emotional. Where would you be? What would you be doing if somebody wouldn't have planted that seed? And he certainly planted it with me.
Robert Henry on first down. Swarmed in a sea of maroon. Ryland Kennedy led the charge. Henry's been the big bright spot offensively. 13 carries, 171 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Kind of reaching that point again for UTSA. You're going to keep pace. You got to score here, and you can't give up field position in the process. So a field goal is maybe what they need, what you're thinking, at the very least, a field goal.
Chappelle coming on the nickel blitz. Not much going on. Kennedy gets in there again.
Shovel pass
by Overmeyer. We've seen that a few times now.
Yeah, a little shovel pass. That takes me back to the run and shoot days, where you're sprinting out one way, you got a slot receiver coming underneath, and it's about the easiest completion you'll get in a football game. Big third down here for UTSA, and A&M going to bring the house. They are lining up to come.
Here comes the blitz. The screen goes through the hands of Willie McCoy.
Well, that's hard to handle, though, Anish. He's about 5 yards away from you. You just need to get it in his hands. And Owen McCown threw a fastball when he needed a changeup.
This is another big spot on special teams. Hogan to punt. And Concepcion, who already has a punt return touchdown, awaiting inside his own 30.
He's some football player, isn't he?
Didn't take him long to make a first impression in Aggieland. He's got a chance here from inside the 20. Across the 30, losing his balance, and brought down out of bounds at the 33-yard line, a 14-yard return. Our Labor Day weekend menu continues tomorrow. Andre, how excited are you to see Lenore Sellers in South Carolina?
Yeah, he has been the talk on a lot of Heisman boards to start the season. And Notre Dame, Miami, TCU, and North Carolina on Monday night. Going to get after it. It's been a great lineup this weekend, and more to come.
Meanwhile, Casey Concepcion hobbling off the field after the punt return. Paul Carcaterra will keep an eye out on Concepcion. That doesn't look good.
It looks like a calf cramp, which could be just irritating as a player if you can't shake it fast enough.
Reed with plenty of time. Rifles one to Craver into Roadrunner territory. A gain of 24 for Craver, who's closing in on 100 yards receiving.
And he's so elusive, and we've seen him make guys miss. Jimmy Wyrick on the back end is able to bring him down, but a nice job of going through your progressions. Your Marcel Reed, who is really starting to develop in the passing game, and it is on full display here in the second half of this one.
Cornerback Davin Martin is down for UTSA. Kark.
Looks like A&M has taken advantage of UTSA's rash of injuries. Martin on the ground right now, dealing with what appears to be potentially a cramp or a right lower body injury. But Ty Leonard left the game in the second quarter. Cameron Cooper was banged up in the third. We saw Vic Shaw, who was nursing that left ankle in the second quarter. So those are 4 regulars right now for a defense that is the walking wounded.
Yeah, Karkin, with David Martin, you know, back in the old days, we'd have a coach in the press box that looked for guys that were either limping, cramping, not 100%, and guess where you're going with the football?
Right at him.
When you get it back, you're going right at him, and Concepcion is about to check himself right back into this game. Call it unfair if you want to, but hey, you do what you have to do to win.
It happens at every level. Concepcion looking to be okay for Texas A&M, a good sign. Waiting to go back in. Moss inside the 40, Banks again with the stop, a gain of 5.
They're just waiting to unleash him, and he wants more carries. I think he's the type of back that the more he gets, the more you feed him, the better he gets. And he does not shy away from contact.
Second team All-SEC despite missing the last 4 games of the season. Reed will run. Moss's lead blocker throws a mean block to spring Reed for an extra few yards, a gain of 17.
What did we just say? He doesn't shy away from contact. He was looking up. As soon as he saw Reed take off, he got in front of him and threw one heck of a block. Felt him take off. He knew that it just cleared, the path cleared, and took on Shad Banks Jr. Man, what a nice block that is. A couple of extra yards for Marcel Reed because of the block of Le'Veon Moss.
2 backs now flanking Reed on first down.
Coverage one-on-one up top.
Play clock expires.
Delay a game on the offense. 5-yard penalty. It is first down.
Mike Elko saying, stay there. Second season at the helm for Mike Elko. short but successful run at Duke, and he was the defensive coordinator here when Jimbo Fisher was the head coach. Wants to bring a physicality and a toughness back to A&M.
One-on-one up top.
Instead, Reed again to run, and gets close to the original line of scrimmage. Darian White brings him down.
I don't like that slide. Protect yourself. Stay healthy. You don't need to take unnecessary licks if you're, Marcel Reed. You're athletic. You know what you can do. Keep yourself on the field and stay healthy. You only get 12 of these guaranteed. So you want to be available for all 12.
Low throw. It's caught by Craver. Down the sideline. Touchdown Aggies.
Man, the missed tackles in this game is going to drive Jeff Traylor crazy when he returns on the film, but this is just super athletic ability by Mario Craver. Out in space, just get it to him. So dynamic. It's right up the sideline and into the end zone. Boy, they have found two outstanding playmakers in the transfer portal.
Will Lee, who's the best cover corner for Texas A&M, said last year that Craver, when he played at Mississippi State, was the most difficult cover for Will Lee.
Iron sharpening iron. You hear that analogy over and over again. That's exactly what you do. You line up and you go at it day in and day out. It makes both guys on each side of the ball better. And he is something else when you put the ball in his hands. Just a sophomore.
2 touchdowns already, not to mention 6 catches for 116 yards, both career highs. His previous career high actually came against the Aggies in a game last October.
They miss him in Starkville.
PAT is good, and Texas A&M starting to pull away. UTSA on the first play of the third quarter went for a long touchdown. Aggies with a response.
Right into the end zone, and then go a little celebration with the Aggie fans, Aggie faithful here.
We talked about it in the first half. Mike Elko's mantra in the offseason: finish.
Yeah.
Don't let teams hang around, put them away. And there was a moment, a scary moment, when Robert Henry ripped off a 75-yard touchdown run to begin the third quarter. All of a sudden, 21-17, and then Texas A&M gives the ball back, and UTSA has a chance to take the lead. To the Aggies' credit, they found an answer.
Yeah, defense stepped up, and then the playmakers started to make plays on the offensive side for this A&M bunch, extending the lead now, as you mentioned, 35-17, and putting an enormous amount of pressure on Owen McCown and this UTSA offense.
Randy Bond kicks it away. UTSA ball at the 25.
Must score? Absolutely.
Feels like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I know you got an entire fourth quarter left, but the way the momentum has kind of swung to the A&M sideline after that 75-yard touchdown run, it kind of has the feel of a must score this possession. And kind of you think that way when you're on the road anyway, but if you're going to keep pace or get yourself back in it, there are points that have to go on the board on this drive.
Screen pass goes awry in the direction of Henry. Torian York closed quickly.
Ashton Jeanty used to have that same stance that Robert Henry has. He's standing straight up. Since he's been drafted in Oakland, it's changed. Now it's a little bit lower. But if you watch his stance, he stands straight up in the backfield. He has to allow himself a chance to see what's going on the defensive side of the ball. without having to race himself up and down.
Henry up the gut. York meets him after a gain of a yard. Third down and long. A&M can tee up its pass rush and this crowd.
He was recruited. He's a captain. He's a captain on this team. Was recruited by Coach Elko at A&M and at Duke. So he wanted him, you know, from his first go around at A&M. Then he got the job at Duke and still tried to bring him to Duke.
Contested and broken up, incomplete. Des Ricks, they felt he was new and improved after some struggles the back end of last season. He's made a couple of nice plays today.
They got two long corners. You mentioned Will Lee a second ago, and then now Des Ricks making his second big play of this game in terms of coverage. You have two lockdown corners in Will Lee and Des Ricks.
And you think on special teams you get a breather because Concepcion is on the sideline?
No.
Bussy is just as fast,
yes,
if not faster.
When does Craver start returning punts? Because, man, I bet he'd be a monster returning punts as well.
Bussy driven back to the 20. Makes a couple of guys miss. And Groundhogs to the 34, 54-yard punt.
Let's take a look at this last drive. The first with a Mario Craver catch. And then Reed up the middle with an excellent block by Le'Veon Moss to kind of keep the drive going. And then the touchdown to Mario Craver out in space. And the speed is turned on and on full display for this A&M crowd.
Both touchdowns to Craver came on short screens. Another screen pass, that one dropped and blown dead. Wanted Bussy. New running back in the game, Jamarian Morrow, redshirt freshman, or rather a true freshman from Memphis, where he played quarterback, running back, receiver, was a two-way player, offense, defense as a junior.
Marcel Reed, so far in 3/4 of action, 4 touchdown passes in this ball game and spreading it around. He is spreading the love tonight.
Concepcion back in there, bottom of your screen. Off play action. Reed with time. Dancing and pulled down from behind by big number 94, Kenny Ozawalu.
He's a walk-on that just kind of earned himself some playing time through the spring and through fall camp. Just kept getting better and better and found his way into the rotation. Couldn't keep him off the field.
Aggies need the 44.
Zone coverage here by UTSA, trying to keep the Aggies in front of them and get off the field here.
They rush 4. Reed over the middle. He's got Morrow, the freshman running back, a couple of yards shy of the line to gain.
And another missed tackle by Pee Wee. Owen Pee Wee, one of the linebackers in that money position, just misses the tackle, but it gives A&M 4th and short, 4th and 2, and with a big lead. I think Elko not going to take any chances here to give away field position. Punt and play defense.
The flag.
A false start here.
Legal snap on the offense, number 49. 5-yard penalty. It remains 4th down.
I think he meant Jacob Graham, number 48.
That would be the long snapper. Tyler White's punt. Takes a high bounce in the air. And it'll be downed inside the 20. 44-yard kick, no return.
That's the end of the third quarter.
End of the third quarter. Mario Craver, a couple of touchdowns today. Aggies up 18. You're watching the SEC on ESPN with Andre Ware, I'm Anish Shroff, and somewhere with the Corps of Cadets, there he is in the white shirt. You can't miss him. Our sideline reporter, Paul Carcaterra, embracing the ambiance that is Kyle Field.
That's awesome. He finds the fun, doesn't he?
I thought this morning it was such a great reminder with the send-off for Lee Corso as Henderson finds a big seam, flag on the play, that college football is fun. We get caught up sometimes with NIL and litigation. It's a reminder of why people come to the games, why we watch. It's the pageantry. It's environments like this.
Just get me to the stadium, fill it up.
On the offense, number 1, 10-yard penalty.
And let them play.
Spot of the flag, it is first down.
Paul?
That was incredible, and it just embodies what college football is all about. And Gordon Wilson was one of the core members to my right. He was terrific with me, and I asked him, like, what's the most gratifying thing about being a core member at Texas A&M? And he said, standing all game. We are literally, figuratively, the 12th man, know our team feels us, and by us standing, it shows us we're ready to be with them through thick and thin, and it's a special moment here down in College Station.
UTSA dealing with the sound and the fury, backed up. They get some breathing room with McEwen. Come to college football for the pageantry,
no doubt.
Competitions. For the environment, it's different than the NFL. You and I both cover the NFL.
Yeah.
You go to every state, and more or less the game day experience is the same.
It gets loud, but that's, it doesn't have what we just experienced with Paul.
Henderson brought down for a big loss. It's Torian York.
Captain making plays, showing up big time here in the second half. He's not big, but he's a coach's dream, according to Mike Elko. Plays sideline to sideline, understands angles, never is out of place, and he gets guys in front of him lined up and in position.
10 tackles today for York. McCown drops it off to McEwen. Able to shake a couple of defenders. Close. He's going to be close. Almost found at Northwest Passage.
Yeah, but not close enough to go for it here. I think you definitely got to punt it if you're Jeff Traylor. Man, what an effort, though, by McEwen.
Movement and false start.
False start on the offense. Number 7, 5-yard penalty. It is 4th down.
Just hasn't been a lot of progress offensively since that 75-yard run for UTSA. It has been kind of churning in place for this offense. And A&M, you got to give them credit. Guys like Marcus Ratcliffe flying up, making plays. And Chappelle in coverage. And the captain stepping his game up as well.
Bussey fields the Hogan kick inside the 35. It's a fair catch. Since that 75-yard touchdown run by the Roadrunners, they've been held to 24 yards on 14 plays by this Aggie defense. Daniels spun down after a solid pickup on first down.
Boy, they can literally go 5 deep at running back and not miss a beat. And you're able to do that when you have the experience that the Aggies have up front.
And they all have different shoes. Have you noticed that? Moss with neon, Owens has the blue, Daniels the bright orange. Pee-wee comes off the edge. Screen pass, Craver. Boy, he has been lethal on those bubble and tunnel screens. We do get a flag.
Just get it to him in space. They're going to have a holding call against A&M to bring this back. But you're right. You just put him in space. Oh, nice. Let's look at pair of Adidas.
Holding on the offense. Number 2, 10-yard penalty. Back it down.
Terry Bussey is who they get for holding. But with Craver in space, man, it's fun to watch him work after he gets the ball in his hands. What color would you wear?
Blue.
I'll give you one guess.
White.
You know it. I'll tell you that story after.
Dangerous pass on the tunnel screen. And Craver wrapped up near the line of scrimmage. A short gain on the play. It's third down.
I used to beg my mother for a white pair of shoes, Nike. She would not buy them. Oh, you're just going to get them dirty. And I swore then that when I could afford to buy them, I'm only going to buy white ones.
Clark, in all of our years working with Andre, I can't remember Andre wearing anything but white shoes.
He's got a uniform, white shoes, white hat, and what people don't know is he spends probably hours after games scrubbing the soles because they are pearly white every time you see them.
That one is batted down.
You clean them, don't you, Dre? Don't lie to me.
Absolutely.
A lot.
Absolutely.
Oh, you don't buy new ones for every game?
No. I got a product.
That guy.
I've searched the world over for a product that cleans them right back up where they look brand new. And the key is not to get them stepped on a lot.
What color is his car, you think? It's white. It's white. Those shoes cost as much as a car, by the way, the ones you're wearing tonight?
Not quite.
I'm guessing it's close.
Not quite.
David Amador waits for the punt. And makes the fair catch at the 16. 48-yard kick. 10:45 to go in regulation. Texas A&M up by 18.
playoff begins December 19th and concludes with the national championship January 19th on ESPN.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Experian. It's kickoff week, presented by Modelo. With Paul Carcaterra and Andre Ware and Ishroff here in College Station. UTSA with the football, down by 3 scores. Off play action. Owen McCown engulfed in the backfield by Ryland Kennedy.
Yeah, Kennedy just went right around Jalen Garth, the right tackle for UTSA, and couldn't have it on the worst part of the field. And down here, backed up, you got the big fella, DJ Hicks, coming from in front of you, and that allows Ryland Kennedy to get home.
Think of the talent gone on this defensive line. Shamar Stewart, Shamar Thornton, Nick Scorton. That tunnel screen detonated behind the line of scrimmage, a loss of 3. Marcus Ratcliffe continues to make plays from the secondary.
Yeah, he has had a monster game from his safety position. As a box safety on the back end, he's been involved in coverage. And you try to throw a screen, he reads it and comes flying up to get himself involved in the screen game. It's a nice job by Marcus Ratcliffe tonight.
Handoff to Henry on 3rd down, and he Cyclones out of trouble but does not get far. Albert Regis and Ratcliffe were there. It's 4th down, and UTSA will have to punt.
Well, in field position has kind of flipped itself here. For A&M, they end up with a short field on any type of return.
So after that 75-yard touchdown run by Robert Henry, it's been 3 consecutive, or make it 4 consecutive 3-and-outs.
Yeah, and only 14 yards in those 4 possessions.
Hogan at the back of his end zone. Bussey waits near midfield. Bussey with a chance.
A great punt.
Has an opening. He's got great speed and stumbles at the UTSA 30-yard line.
It was so long that you hear about out-punting your coverage. That's exactly what happened there. It gave Bussey an opportunity to go right up the middle of the field.
Let's check in with Matt. Don't you know?
You can't mess around with North Dakota or North Dakota State.
Off play action, Reed has 4 touchdown passes today, and he finds Nyblak. Did he stay on his feet? No. A mark down at the 6-yard line. 25-yard gain.
What a throw. He is really playing some good football, and you start to see all the hard work that Marcel Reed put in the offseason. Tight spirals, on time with the football, and he's playing with a lot of confidence. Let's just see how he is indeed
elbow
down. Yeah, the elbow was down.
To keep it on the ground, E.J. Smith.
Transfer from Stanford. His dad could
22,
play some,
just like his dad.
Yeah, he could play some football, couldn't he?
How about Emmett last year? Emmett's the father. When A&M played Florida, Emmett said, hey, blood over the alma mater, and he
no doubt.
Texas A&M.
That's right.
Speed option. Smith powers into the end zone for 6 more.
Put that foot in the ground and looked for the contact, got himself right in the end zone. Wearing that double deuce. Looks like the old man a little bit there.
Folks here in Texas, especially of a certain age, they've seen that movie many times.
Yes, indeed. I'm wondering if he's left-handed like that. Carried in his left hand a bunch.
Extra point is good. Now you think of the dad, Emmitt Smith, 3 Super Bowls, played behind that great offensive line in Dallas. Son EJ gets to celebrate a touchdown. A&M up big here in College Station.
That's the only backup plan you need. Yeah, getting back up. That's the only backup plan you
need. UTSA made this close early in the third quarter. It was 21-17. Since then, Aggies have scored 21 unanswered. They have begun to pull away. Makai Anderson tackled shy of the 25-yard line. A&M says the ball has come out. And right now the pendulum swinging toward the Aggies.
It has very much been there since that big run by Robert Henry Jr. See if we see the ball come out.
No, ball doesn't come out.
It's just a big hit.
That was the 12th man who made the tackle. That was the celebration.
That's awesome. What a tradition here. They love it when the 12th man makes a play.
Robert Henry met behind the line of scrimmage. And he will eat the turf here at Kyle Field. Solomon Williams, the TFL.
Redshirt freshman from Tampa, Florida, Carrollwood Day High School, and he is waiting on Robert Henry, nowhere to go with that type of penetration.
The past 3 Roadrunner plays, Andre, have gone for negative yards.
Yeah, just can't. Really, the passing game hadn't been as consistent as you wanted for UTSA. And that's kind of stymied this offense a little bit.
Back to the ground. And Henry out to the 22-yard line. Closing in on a career high in rushing yards. That would be his 3rd straight game where he set a new career high in rushing going back to last year. And he really didn't think he was going to have a chance to play
this. Yeah, he's making the most of that extra year he was awarded.
Former junior college player taking advantage of the NCAA's blanket waiver for this season to gain that extra year of eligibility. Pressure up the middle. McEwen makes the catch well shy of the marker. 4th down.
I think you go for it here. If you're Jeff Traylor, and he's not, he's going to punt it away.
This is a UTSA team that Jeff Traylor said, listen, we're going to find out a lot about our defense after this game. They're still very much a contender in the American Conference. Games like this, we hear coaches often say, gives you the best self-scout you can get going into week 2, because you won't play another opponent of this caliber probably the rest of the way.
Well, I think they're very much in play in the American. Just when you are putting together a defense and we're basically brand new. Oh boy.
Punt returns are going to be exciting in College Station this year. That was Bussey.
You know, the transfers have shown up tonight. Casey Concepcion with a punt return that got the scoring started for Texas A&M. And then he came back, a slant route, got himself in the open field, housed that baby. Then it became the Mario Craver show. He got open in the open field, showing you his elusiveness and getting in the end zone. One more time on a play that's very similar. Got outside, made one defender miss, and found the end zone. 4 touchdowns accounted for by these 2 new wide receivers for Marcel Reed.
And Marcel Reed's day is done. Miles O'Neill, the backup quarterback in the game. And he throws on 1st down. Kelshawn Johnson.
True freshman.
Andre, I know you were always a big believer. Hey, when the backups come in, let them run the offense.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, you got to stop them, and you should be able to stop them if you're the opposing team. But I'm not just putting you in the game to go in and kill the clock. You've worked just as hard as the starters have in practice and against the scout team or the first team defense. Now it's time to go see what you can do.
And given the state of college football, as that one goes through the hands of Johnson, where guys leave, and you're trying to retain players.
Yes.
You want to have continuity.
You better develop the guys that are second team. And when you get an opportunity to play them, put them on the field. Because there's no better remedy for practice or to get an uptick in practice than when a guy knows he's going to play as maybe a second or third team guy.
Yeah, Miles O'Neill came all the way from Marblehead, Massachusetts. He's only a 3-star recruit by ESPN 300. This was his only SEC offer, but Colin Klein, offensive coordinator, said he's big, athletic, has the arm strength. They love this guy's upside.
They felt he had a strong spring, only a redshirt freshman, chased by Pee-wee to the edge, and down he goes near the line of scrimmage, 4th down. I'll tell you what, Marcel Reed tonight, 22 of 34, 289 through the air, 39 more on the ground, 4 passing touchdowns. When you look at the landscape of this conference this season, there are a ton of heavyweight quarterbacks.
Yes.
Lagway at Florida, Sellers at South Carolina,
Talon Green at Arkansas,
Nussmeier at LSU.
And then they finished with Arch Manning at Texas. So you're talking about some heavyweight quarterbacks and some teams that are going to be a factor certainly in the SEC this year.
That was the question for Texas A&M coming into the year. Does Marcel Reed take that next step, evolve as a passer? Granted, Not a power conference opponent tonight, as UTSA will have the ball just inside its own 30. But a big game for Reed nonetheless, as we get another update from Matt. Once upon a time in Corvallis.
Yes, indeed.
And a whistle, a timeout by Jeff Traylor.
Timeout. UTSA. First timeout. 30 seconds.
Now is when you.
Andre for Texas A&M. They were given a game for about a half and then a couple of plays in the third quarter. They responded. They pulled away. They should win next week against what will likely be an overmatched opponent. They have Notre Dame, which is not shown on their list of conference opponents, obviously. They go to Notre Dame, Florida at home, LSU on the road, South Carolina at home, at Texas. When you put Notre Dame with the Floridas, LSU, South Carolina, Texas, 3-2 in that stretch of 5 games, to me, that's a playoff team, isn't it?
It is. It is. You get through that schedule, you are definitely going to the playoffs.
Assuming there are no other scars anywhere else.
Right. Exactly right.
Peterson breaking a couple of tackles and finally thrown to the ground by Julio Humphrey, the Georgia transfer.
And now it's just get out of here as healthy as you possibly can, but you keep fighting. And they're going to make a change. Brendan Tennyson is in, knows this system really. An intelligent quarterback, won a lot in his high school career. Over 8,100 yards in his high school career with 78 touchdown passes.
This is his collegiate debut. Redshirt sophomore from Gilmer High School, where Jeff Traylor, the UTSA head coach, once used to coach, and where he has predictably recruited pretty well from.
Yeah, no doubt. He's got a nice connection there. Signed with UTSA over Army, and he can move the football around in the air. The streak's going to end for UTSA early in the game. Showed you a graphic where there were 23 consecutive games with both a sack and a takeaway. UTSA has neither in the ball game tonight.
That is the 2-minute timeout.
We're at the 2-minute timeout. We'll come back and put the ribbon and wrapping paper on this one.
Time now for the final 2 minutes, delivered by Factor.
Two minutes on the nose left in this game. Texas A&M behind a announced crowd of 107,000 plus. 107,521, sixth largest in the history of Kyle Field. On the way to a 1-0 start. They started 7-0 last year. Peterson carries the pile for a first down. I don't know if you get a great read on Texas A&M from this game. Certainly we will in a few weeks when they play Notre Dame. They were picked to finish 8th in the SEC. Where do you see Texas A&M this season, or is it still too early to tell?
I think it's still too early to tell. We know they can throw the football. Marcel Reed is much improved in that area, and he's got obviously the two transfers in Craver and Concepcion who made plays. 2 or 3 tight ends that can make plays in the offensive line. They just got to do a better job of running the football, and I thought that's exactly what they would do in this one, is kind of impose their will on UTSA. They weren't able to do it. And you talk about the schedule that they have going forward when there's 2 or 3 deep at Notre Dame. There's 2 or 3 deep at LSU. It's still kind of going through it and thinking about or analyzing where they could finish in the SEC.
Andre, you have to be confident, though, the run game will come alive, right? 5 starters back on the offensive line, one of the most seasoned units in the SEC. And when we talked to Coach Elko yesterday, he mentioned he thinks the Moss-Owens combo might be as good as any running back duo in the country.
Now they can go 4 or 5 deep with a true freshman who didn't play tonight, and Jamarian Morrow. So, you know, along with E.J. Smith and then Amari Daniels, it's just they've got to get push up front, and they weren't able to push around a smaller UTSA defensive line. You got to believe that you know they're gonna face Notre Dame here in a couple of weeks. That's going to be a little bit better than what they faced tonight, obviously.
And what Mike Elko told us, and he was pretty blunt about it, he said, yes, this is a place with all the trappings of a championship contender.
Yeah.
All the trappings of a perennial playoff team. And he said they have to take ownership as a staff in terms of getting NFL caliber players. He said if we want league titles, if we want to win championships, we need more NFL draft picks. And we think that's tied into recruiting rankings. He brought up a great point. You look at a lot of the guys that Texas sent to the draft, they came off of a recruiting class that was much lower than Michigan, much lower than Texas A&M. And you look at the way
I think they put
they've built it in Austin. They've done it from the trenches out. They've gotten that physicality, and that's why they're on the cusp of potentially being there. Obviously today notwithstanding.
12, 13 recruits, and he's talking, especially on the offense and defensive lines, about putting players into the NFL. When you start to do that, then you have arrived as a program, and the success comes with it, because now you're producing next level caliber players, and that just produces winning right along with it.
Yeah, think of Michigan, right? They won the championship 2 years ago.
All those draft picks from that team. Last year with Texas, all those draft picks from that team. Alabama over the years. So
Georgia.
There's a direct correlation with winning and winning big and producing and putting players into the NFL. It also makes it easier to recruit when you can go sit down in a kid's living room and say, hey, we put a kid in the pros at your position, and you remind me of that guy.
And it's not like they haven't had pros. They've had great pros come out of here, obviously. Mike Evans, right? We showed that win earlier today. They've had a lot of great players come out of Texas A&M. But when you're in that top level of contenders, it's the volume. Tennyson to throw, lets it fly down the sideline, and caught in stride by A.J. Wilson, who down the stretch last year for Houston Christian, formerly Houston Baptist, put up numbers like he played in Andre Ware's offense.
Where was that earlier in the game? Just trying to stretch the field against this A&M defense. We saw bubble screens, quick passes, quick game, all of that, but we never saw Owen McCown challenge this team down the field. Now, I know there are some reserves in the game for Texas A&M, but you know, you at least got to push it down the field to get the defense to loosen up a little bit, and then you get even more production out of the backs at UTSA.
There were also some folks watching who were impacted by that score. PAT is good. Case in point, A.J. Wilson last year at Houston Christian, 29 yards of reception.
That's crazy.
And in his last 4 games, Andre, 12 catches for 572 yards and 6 touchdowns, with 10 of the 12 receptions going for 30 or more yards, and that touchdown was a 34-yard grab.
He's a big receiver at 6'2", 190 pounds. Has another year left, so you could have it, turn it into a big year here. You know, you flash on film like that with a touchdown catch, you get more playing time, and then start to put games together. Who knows what happens to A.J. Wilson, or for him. Tough night for Owen McCown, one that he wants to throw over his shoulder and get to next week against Texas State. They've got a very reasonable schedule themselves. Incarnate Word, at Colorado State, at Temple, and then Rice, North Texas to follow. So they could get things righted quickly, and I expect them to here in the next couple of weeks. It's a good football team. It's just a tough place to come play, number one, and then against a tough SEC opponent in Texas A&M.
Once we finish here, we get you out to Cal and Oregon State, which is now ACC versus Pac-12. One more kneel down is all that's needed. If you want to watch the start of Cal Oregon State, it's over on ESPN News. We will get you there momentarily. Victory formation for the Aggies.
It's always my favorite play.
And that does it from College Station. Miles O'Neill takes the final knee. Season 2 for Mike Elko begins with a victory. Aggies take it 42-24 thanks to a good second half. For Andre Ware and Paul Carcaterra and our entire crew, I'm Anish Shroff. We get you out to Cal and Oregon State. Dave Fleming, Brock Osweiler on the call.
Thank you for watching this presentation of the Southeastern Conference on ESPN.